I'm Nathan for Cabot Tales and Trails, a page one story music collection. For today's episode, we're interviewing Sara Young. Sara is Jean's daughter and a teaching and learning assistant. She also has a background with social work and works at Elwood, and she also manages an Airbnb here in Deer Lake. How are you today, Sara?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Oh, doing good, thank you. What will be one lesson you have from being a teaching and learning assistant?
So I'm involved a lot in assisting the teachers and students with all sorts of things. Some of the things I do is pull out small reading groups and assist children with learning how to read. Another big part that's really important to me that I play at the school is I'm actually engaged in teaching Indigenous culture.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing some teachings on Indigenous culture and implementing singing and drumming into the curriculum and teaching it to the students. And we actually went out with the grade 5s back in June and attended their multicultural assembly, and the grade 5s got the opportunity to drum and sing for the Xavier students.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, wow, how was that experience?
It was really nice to see multicultural being introduced over at Xavier Junior High, and for them to give us an opportunity as the grade 5 students at Elwood Elementary to be engaged in going over and participating in the assembly. So it was really meaningful for both sides. As you know, our school only goes up to grade 5, so those students will be transitioning over to Xavier Junior High next year.
Right.
So it was kind of a way to introduce them and integrate them into that school to prepare them for next year too.
Oh wow, yeah, that is a very multifaceted approach, eh? Do you do much writing?
I dabble in writing here and there. I really like to sing and drum and play music, and my passion for writing, I think, integrates well with that.
Yeah, that does slot in very nice. I would ask how you found page one, but I guess you are Jean's daughter, so that's how you would know.
Definitely.
Just the other day, we interviewed David, Sara's father, and there he talked about his Indigenous heritage. What does having an Indigenous heritage mean for you?
When I was growing up, I didn't really know much about my Indigenous culture. As you know, historically, Indigenous people were not necessarily celebrated here in Newfoundland, and some people did attend residential schools, so it was really a lot of oppression happening at that time, and people weren't free to speak their language or be introduced to the food and the culture and go to celebrations like the powwow. So that really wasn't part of my upbringing. I do know that I was registered in the St. George's Indian Band as a child, but those words were spoken to me, but I didn't really know what that meant.
Right.
When I went away and moved to Fort McMurray, I did a social work program there, and it was really Indigenous focused. So it was actually in Fort McMurray with surrounding reserves and Indigenous culture that I started to learn about what Indigenous means and what reconciliation means and what it meant to be part of the Indigenous culture there. And it really sparked my curiosity to learn about my own history and my own importance of being like what a Mi'kmaq person is. So
Right, yeah, that is a very important experience, I think, especially if you have that kind of background. Do you have any traditions that stick with you?
Absolutely. Growing up in Newfoundland, I feel like many of us could relate to hunting and gathering and fishing. I actually went mackerel fishing with my father yesterday and fished the whole entire day and caught one mackerel, but then it got away. I lost it.
Oh, wow.
So that's unfortunate, but we do enjoy fishing. My father is an avid hunter, so he snares rabbits, he hunts for moose. My grandfathers both were big hunters too. And it's really been integrated in terms of gathering berries and apples. So as the season changes, I love to go out in nature, and right now I'm actually picking strawberries lately.
Oh, wow.
Also growing strawberries in my garden. We do a lot of outdoor gardening as well to grow our own fruit and vegetables. So right now it's strawberry season, so I've been picking lots of those.
Oh, nice.
We will pick raspberries, blueberries, apples. So as the seasons change, we harvest different berries and fruit.
Oh, nice. That is a very nice tradition to have. I have a very similar background myself.
Nice.
Growing up hunting and fishing, those sorts of things.
Nice.
Passing on Indigenous heritage and traditions are very important. What would be one way that someone with an Indigenous background can pass on traditional knowledge?
For me, integrating the drumming and singing is a fun way to get kids involved and adults. And I always tell people, you don't need to be Indigenous to enjoy drumming and singing and dancing and storytelling as well. So all of the knowledge that that people have passed on to me, I feel it's part of my duty and it's important for me to share that knowledge with others. So I really enjoy singing and drumming and storytelling so that I can engage other people. And to me, that's what reconciliation really is.
Oh, nice. Do you have any stories you'd like to share maybe off the top of your head today, or?
I was going to share a story that's not an actually Indigenous story, but it's a story from one of the page one books. So I will share a story that I've written in that. It's not an Indigenous story, but it is a story. So fun to pass on those too, just in terms of my writing.
Those are fun to pass on too, eh?
So I'll tell you a little story now that I wrote one time. It's actually a little bit of a haunted story, I guess, a ghost story, if you will. So the story is titled Haunted Hill. As I stepped outside into the crisp night air, I could see my warm breath escape into cloudy puffs. I shivered and zipped my jacket up as high as it would go and tucked my chin beneath the high collar. The snow and ice crunched loudly underneath my furry winter boots, as if to echo with each step and disturb the silence of the dark night. Bright, tiny stars twinkled high above me, and my gaze searched the clear, dark sky for the all-too-familiar Big Dipper, as I often do. My dog pulled full speed ahead, nose to the ground, and stopped, repeatedly pushing her nose into the snow, searching for the scent of any animal that walked the stretch before us. Something about night always triggers my senses to come alive and puts me on high alert. I notice the smell, the sounds, the feeling of the earth beneath me, and my pupils dilate to maximize my sight. But still, I do appreciate and enjoy the eerie silence of a late night walk. It's almost like I'm waiting for someone or something to suddenly jump out of nowhere and spook the living daylights out of me. But most always, nothing extraordinary happens, and my dog and I trudge around the loop unscathed. However, on this particular night, when the moon shone bright and high in the sky on the cusp of being full, something strange did happen, something I'll never forget. Just as we rounded the corner at the top of the hill, I caught movement from the corner of my eye on my right-hand side across the street. I quickly turned my head to get a better look and heard twigs cracking in the dark woods. I stopped and squinted to get a better look. My dog's ears perked straight up, her head lowered on high alert, and she stared in the same direction. A deep, low growl escaped her throat, and the movement stopped. Then, just as quickly as it stopped, it started up again, and the cracking branches sounded closer and louder as whatever it was drew closer. I panicked and tugged hard on the leash, and together we started running full tilt. My left foot slipped on the icy road, and I fell smack down onto the hard, cold pavement. My knee pained, but I quickly recovered, and I pulled myself up. As I fled, I turned back quickly in fear of it being closer, and I could see a dark silhouette of a figure too tall and too slim to be human. As I stared, it made a strange, repetitive sound, almost like the hum of a large flying insect or a small bird. When it realized I saw it, it raised one hand in a wave, except it wasn't a hand at all. It was more like a webbed foot of a duck. In that instant, its beady eyes started to glow so bright I felt blinded and covered my ears while gasping. Adrenaline kicked in, and I turned and bolted. I ran like a bat out of hell, like it was my last chance to escape and survive this horrifying experience. I turned the next corner and, without looking back, ran down the hill with my dog at my heels, panting loudly. We finally reached my driveway, stormed onto the patio, and rushed into the house. I dropped the leash and stood in the porch gasping for air, still in complete shock. Was it my imagination? Was I losing my mind? I knew I couldn't be because my dog saw it too. All I could say was, "Ruby, what the hell was that?" I stayed awake in bed that night for hours trying to rationalize what I saw. There were just no answers to be found. Needless to say, I never walked that route in the night ever again. And even when I do so during the daylight hours, I still get that spine-tingling, creepy feeling that someone or something is watching me. That something is lurking deep in those woods, just waiting for the right time to come out again. So if I were you, I wouldn't walk that way, especially at night.
Wow, that's a really nice story. And
Thank
very,
you.
very captivating. I do know that you brought a drum today, so do you have a couple songs that you'd like to play?
Yeah, for sure. So I can tell you a little bit about the drum.
Right.
This is a drum that I made myself. I made it with elders, actually, in Edmonton, Alberta, as part of my Social Work Indigenous Bachelor of Social Work program. So the frame of the drum is made with wood, as you can see. And on the inside, I just wrote my name and the date. So I actually made it July 19th, 2014. So I've been drumming with this for quite a few years now. The face of the drum is made with deer skin. And when I made it, it was soaked in a chemical. So this deer hide was very loose and wobbly. So you could put it over the frame of the drum. And we actually put our fist down through the middle. So it was sagging when we first made it. But overnight, what happened was it seals tightly all over the top. So within about 24 hours, and on the back you can see it's webbed here where I thread it through some of the hide to make a handle.
Right.
So anyway, within a day, it was ready to play, and it had tightened and hardened over the frame of the drum. And then we learned a little bit of music, and here's my drum. Yeah, so I've been carrying it around with me and singing with it for 11 years or
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So when we drum, we often say that the drum is like the heartbeat of Mother Earth. When we are first conceived in our mother's womb, the first sound we ever hear is the heartbeat of our mother, and that is our connection to the earth, to our mother, to ourselves, and it kind of represents how we're all connected, and we're all connected to each other, and we're all connected to the land. So the drum represents that heartbeat of ourselves, of our mother, of our ancestors, of each other. And we like to drum and keep our ancestors who have lived before us in our hearts and in our minds, and we kind of invite them into the presence with us so they can be part of this ceremony of us drumming today.
Oh, wow, really nice.
So the first song I'll sing for you is called The Traveling Song. This is kind of a song that represents transitioning. So people can sing it at funerals where people transition from the earth to the spirit world, but you could also think of it as transitioning to a different phase of life or a different stage in your life. So maybe you're transitioning to a new school, you could be transitioning to adulthood, you could be transitioning to a new career. So there are many ways in life that we transition and grow. We can also grow and transition spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. There's all types of ways we transition. So to me, this song really represents that transitioning. Way, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo. 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 Oh, way, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo. 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 Oh, way, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo. Da-ho.
I can really see the heartbeat.
Yeah, you can hear it and feel it.
Very much so, yeah.
That's amazing. And I find there's a lot of power in drumming together with other people. So when I often and to stand in a drumming circle. Like recently, Mom and I and Dad, we went down to Cornerbrook and we went to a gathering and we learned about some Indigenous teachings, and we stood in a circle and everyone had a drum and everyone sang and drummed together. And to hear that music and to feel that the power of the music and the power of the drum shared together, it's a very spiritual and magical experience.
Oh, it is a really powerful experience.
Yeah.
I remember I've done that before when I was in university.
Oh, really?
And it was a really, really powerful experience.
Nice. So where did you go to university?
Mon.
Okay.
Brentford, I guess.
Okay, so you participated in a drumming circle.
Yeah, there was a powwow in the first week of classes I attended.
Nice. So powwow is another way I think it's really important for people to attend and see different types of regalia. That's like the outfits that people all bring, and it represents who they are, and it's really neat to see all the colorful clothing, and it's just an amazing experience. And everyone's invited up to round dance and to come up and dance around, and you hear all the magical drumming, and it's a nice experience. There's lots of vendors. It's like a festival.
Oh, it is very much so.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What's this song called?
So this song is called The Water Song, and this song represents the snow melting in the spring. So all that snow and ice start to crack, and you hear those crackling sounds, and it melts and turns to water, and all those rivers and streams all flow into lakes, and the lakes flow into the ocean, and goes back to the earth like that in a cycle. So it kind of represents how it slowly starts to melt and gets faster and faster over time.
Wow.
So again, I guess it goes along with the other song where it is a transition song type thing in terms of the seasons are changing. So it's changing from winter to spring. So this one goes like this. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Wichita, do ya, do ya, do ya. Wichita, do ya, do ya, day. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, Shania, hey ya, hey.
Really nice.
Thank you.
I think that might be all the time that we have today. So thank you very much, listeners, for listening on the podcast, and we appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Follow us on Facebook for more. And thank you very much, Sarah, for joining in today.
Thank you for having me. Wulalio.